All right, so in general, if thinking ahead, where do we want to end up on all equations? Okay. It's usually this. X equals something, right? 1x. Right now we have 5x on the left plus 2. And on the right we have 2x. On the right we have negative 10. So we want to move all the variables to the left, divide if necessary, and then all the numbers to the right-hand side. So just like we did before, you want to come up with a plan before you even start. Before you even start. Okay. So for instance here I can say, well, I don't want any variables on the right, I'm going to subtract 2x. I don't want any numbers on the left, I'm going to subtract 2. Okay. That's the beginning. Whatever, this is whatever is on the right-hand side, variable on the right. Okay. This is the number on the left. Number on the left. And that is always true. That is always true. Sometimes it's not there, but pretty much always true. So follow that. Number on the right, okay, variable on the right is 2x. Subtract 2x. Subtract 2x. And watch this, I'm going to do the same step. Number on the left, positive 2, and subtract 2. Just like that. So you can see we get 0 here and 0 here. Something should cancel on the left and the right. See, our goal again is still to have a variable on the left and a number on the right. Right now we only have variables on the left now, we only have numbers on the right. So it's always working towards that goal. 5 minus 2, 3x. Notice how I dropped the equal sign straight down. Just straight down. Those equal signs should be lined up all the way down. Straight down. Over here, oh, what is negative 10 minus 2? I'll say 8. There we go. Yeah, remember we can be good at algebra, which is this stuff, the blue and the green right here. But if our arithmetic is bad from junior high, yeah, we can still mess up. Okay, so be careful on your arithmetic. Remember, you're allowed to use a calculator here if you need to. Punch in negative 10 minus 2, just to verify. Okay. And then last step, divide by 3. Yeah. Now this step you only need if this number is something other than 1. If this was x just by itself, like if this was 5x minus 4x, we'd be done, because it would be just x, 1x. But anytime this is not a 1, then we'll have to divide, or if it's a fraction, we'll have to multiply by the reciprocal. So our final answer is x equals, what is this? 4?
Negative.
Negative. Good. Alright. So if that was overly simple for you, I want you to focus in on your format and how you write things down. Notice again, all my equal signs completely lined up. Look at my variables. They're pretty much all lined up. Notice how when the 2 canceled out, I just had a space left over here. I didn't write anything in these spaces. It just keeps things simple when they're all lined up. Every part of your equation stays aligned. Okay. That way when things get a lot more difficult, it's easier to find mistakes. That's all. That's the only reason for it, is that this will get difficult. And when it gets difficult, it's nice that everybody writes all their work in the same way. So when you 2 or you 4 or you 3 or whoever you sit next to start comparing your work, all your work is written in the same way. Easier to help each other, easier to get help, fewer mistakes. Okay, that's the reason for it. Not just because, well, that's the way the teacher wants it and do it my way because that's what you want. Over time, you'll see that this actually will make things easier for you. Okay, so let's count. How many points do you think this would be worth? And what would the points be for? Remember, I'm grading algebra, right? So, what did I do to both sides? Subtract 2x. Okay, that's 1 point. What's another one? Alright, so another point for subtracting 2 on both sides. What's another one? By 3. So that's another point. Divided by 3 on both sides, and then one more than the answer. That's 4 points total. So if you fail to write down, subtract 2 on both sides, subtract 2 on both sides, 2x on both sides, or the divide by 3 on both sides, that's how you lose credit. Okay, that's algebra. That's what I need to see on a regular basis, pretty much for the rest of your lives, anytime you take a math class. Seriously. Pretty much forever. Every time you take a math class, that's what every teacher's grading. They're grading, can you show me how you got that? They don't care if you're super smart and you can do in your head and you can write x equals -4 without doing any of that. Doesn't matter. It's what you can show, what you can convince somebody else using symbols. Okay, is it true? So you can't just show up at Toyota one day and say, I got a great car. I know, I got an answer. I know how to build a car. And they're going to say, how? And you're like, well, I don't know. I just did it. Same thing here. You can't just show up and say, here's my answer. How'd you do that? I don't know. I just did it. I'm not going to tell you how I did it. I'm just going to give you the car. It doesn't quite work. You have to be able to show other people how you did something, step by step by step. Even if you can understand it in your head, you can't assume the person reading it does understand it, okay? So, a few things today. Okay, few things today. Solving equations, but also the format in which you write your answers, and make sure you're writing all your steps. And you understand how I'm grading it. So it has to be done to both sides, by the way, because some people have a habit of just doing it on one side, not the other, because it's too simple. Just do it always, always, always. Okay, so let's get started. Let's have you guys practice on a few of these. Okay, write that one down in your paper. Write it down. And I'm going to go through this one more time, and you're going to copy it down more or less, and I'm going to check your paper just to make sure you wrote it down correctly. So I know that you have at least one correct problem on your homework right now. This is exactly from your homework. Okay? No more examples. This is a homework question. Right. I want to make sure you guys have an example of exactly what you're supposed to do on there. So here we go. Let's go here. Start off with, so looking at your notes, what should we cancel out from the right-hand side? Start there. 4n or 17? 4n. So let's do that. Remember, it's always the variable on the right. So I'm going to write minus 4n, since this is a positive 4n, and I have to do the same thing to both sides. Let's begin. On the left, you see how I already took care of the 7n, so that kind of pinpoints what needs to be worked on next. Positive 2, cancel that out, negative. So far, nice long straight line, greater than mine. Alright, and then go ahead and cancel out the zeros. 2 minus 2 is 0. 4n minus 4n, that's 0. Now, straight down, 7n minus 4n is 3n. And you notice how I write it directly underneath. Keep it lined up. Okay. Go over here, you're going to bring down an equal sign. That's going to be directly underneath the already existing equal sign. Okay. Over here, 17, positive 17, minus 2, 15. So this might look a little strange because you see these big gaps between the equal sign and everything you're writing, but that's how you want to write it. Okay? That's how you want to write it. Okay. Last step, divide by the coefficients, the number in front of the variable. So, what is 3 over 3 equal? 1, right? 1n. That's our goal. 1n equals. I know this might look weird just because of spacing, but look vertically. 7n minus 4n is 3n divided by 3. You can see exactly what happened to n all the way through the problem. You can see exactly what happened to the constants, the non-variables. 17 minus 2 is 15. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And it's all vertically aligned. Okay? And then lastly, for the goal. Now we are going to throw in some that have the Schroeder property, but other than that, pretty good. Okay? All right. Now, okay, now look at your paper, look at your neighbor's paper. This is the catch. It has nothing to do with math. Does your paper and your neighbor's paper look exactly like this? Or did they feel free to go ahead and, well, I do it like this, let me change it because my way, and I'm just going to ignore everything Mr. Hodge just said and do what I felt like anyway. This is how I've always done it. I know you just told me to do exactly this way, but this is how I've always done it, so forget you, I'm doing it my way. If that's the case, erase it and write it exactly like this. Okay.
He wrote it too small.
Oh. No, let's see here. No. Give me a chance to fix it now, otherwise they come around and I just mark it wrong and you redo it later anyway. So it's phone directions, it's not math, it's not anything else. All I'm going to ask you to do is do exactly like this. Were you able to do that or not? Plain and simple. You'd be surprised. You really would. Don't need to squeeze the bottle. Yeah. All right, moving on. Go ahead and write the next one down. D. Okay, moving on. Letter D, write it down. All right. Now, you guys start. You guys start this one. And on the right-hand side, what do we need to do? 2K. 3K. On the right-hand side? Yep. So subtract 3K. Alright, what else? Yep, subtract 19. Now, if you need to, you have a calculator to do that calculation right there. Don't want you guessing. I don't want you missing algebra problems because of arithmetic. Okay. So we got two cancellations, 19 minus 19, 3K minus 3K. Notice how we have variables on the left, numbers on the right. That's always the general strategy for every linear equation when we solve. Okay, don't mess this up if you're not sure what this is, or maybe if you think you know for sure what this is, I want you to check. Okay. Negative 5K on the left, and on the right hand side is
How do you know which side you're supposed to track? It's always left to right. Like you always.
Always cancel the variable on the right. Always cancel the number on the left.
So number on the left. ML.
Yeah. So going back to
That's
here, what I mentioned.
Just ask me.
Write it down. DJ, write it down.
right.
Number on the left, variable on the right. Always. It's confusing until you write it down and you practice. Okay. And finish it up.
Can't even tell me what's not listening.
So once again, do your variables line up?
Yes.
They should be pretty much all lined up. Do your equal signs line up? And do all your constants line up? The numbers, do they line up? If everything else is easy, practice on the format. Does yours look like your neighbor's, basically? Except for the handwriting itself, is everything in the same place?
My neighbors.
So if you exchange papers, you would understand their work, they would understand your work, and nobody gets confused, right? All right, one more time. Oh no, that's it. Write down C.
What was the model sandwich? What was that model sandwich?
Oh, don't worry about that. It's just all the steps we're going through. Okay. We know something different. We got some parentheses, so some distributive property. Both sides we can do at the same time. So do 1, 2, and 3, 4. 5x plus 7? What is it? Is it 10? Do you add these or multiply them? Multiply. I see some people have them. 3x plus what? 24. Alright, you guys take it from there. So using just like the examples above on your paper. Just the same formula. Show me you understand what I'm trying to teach you today and that you are going down. Alright. And you may box or circle your answers. Any of you already done? Keep going. Keep going.
X equals 7. Is there value? No. You say that is right. Almost. 14, 7? Oh yeah.
minus 3x. Okay, here we go. Eyes up here. So you got minus 3x, minus 3x. We got minus 10 and minus 10. Alright? Show me the cancellations. 10 minus 10, 0. 3x minus 3x, 0. 5x minus 3x, 2x. Leave the space. Bring down the equal sign. Leave a space. 24 minus 10, 14. Okay, so 2 times what is 14? 7. Prove it though. You can't just write it down, you gotta prove it. Alright? X. 2 divided by 2 equals? 1, yeah. So remember here, adding, subtracting, canceling, these equal 0, right? These both equal 0. We don't have to write them down, but they equal 0. So it's kind of a trick question. If I ask you what cancels means, you can't say 0 and you can't say 1. It depends if you're adding, subtracting. Because here, 2 divided by 2 cancel out. But that equals 1x. 1, that's how we get 1x. Okay? We do not normally write down 1x equals. We just write x equals. So just know the difference between canceling when you're adding and canceling when you're dividing. Equal sign, straight down. And then 14 divided by 2? 7. So as I work my way down, how'd you get 5x? 5 times x. 3x minus 3x is 2x. 2x divided by 2 is x. I've just worked vertically. Same thing over here. 24 minus 10 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. I can see everything. There we go. I think you guys are ready. Okay. So these are a few. The ones that have this letter were actually on your homework. So you can see they're already done. You just have to do all the others. There's a few word problems, but we'll work on those tomorrow together. All right.